Well, we all wanted answers, and we finally got them. Sort of. The plot thickens, the story gets deeper, and I'm going to give you all the juicy details on it. For those of you who are hearing about this car for the first time, I would highly recommend that you go back and watch my last video on it, which is up in the top right corner right now. Go ahead, click on that, and you'll be up to speed. If you're not new to this internet drama and controversy, stick around and prepare to be confused again. So before we get into today's video, as a thank you for all the support on my last one, I wanted to return the favor a little bit and give away a $100 Amazon gift card to one of you watching this video right now. All you need to do is leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. The winner will be announced on my Instagram on Thursday, December the 8th, which is next week. So go drop a follow if you want to stay up to date on that. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about this RX-8 again. So today, December 1st, 2022, we got a massive update on the whole situation with Stancypants and his RX-8 that was allegedly vandalized and set on fire by one of his haters. This afternoon, roadandtrack.com released an article titled "Fire Officials Deem Instagram Viral RX-8 Blaze Intentional." When I read that to myself, oh brother, 90% of the internet is about to get proved wrong. This whole time, people have turned this man and his car into a meme, blasted him on every social media platform, calling him a fraud and a clout chaser, and now we're about to get put in our place. But before you type that comment, just wait and let's get through this. So right below the title of this article, it reads the following: "A fire incident report shows the investigation is closed, though it's still unclear if an arrest has been or will be made." Now, I'm not going to sit here and read the whole article word for word, but if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the top of the description if you'd like to read it for yourself. But to summarize all this, in late November, Stancypants uploaded this picture to Instagram saying that the car was completely destroyed as a result of arson, and the internet was skeptical, as they should be. Following the investigation, officials deemed the fire as intentional. The majority of the internet pointed out that the sketchy wiring and overall build quality was likely the culprit of the fire, and the incident report was released to roadandtrack.com by the Renton Regional Fire Authority, and they filed that the fire was investigated as arson and it was set intentionally. The incident report says that the responding fire crew had requested fire investigators and police to respond to the scene due to suspicious behavior. Now, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by suspicious behavior here. Did these firefighters see something sketchy going on, or did they just assume that something weird went down and requested investigators and police just in case? I tried to find this report, but obviously something like that probably wouldn't be released to the general public. So, fire investigator Dan Johnson's report confirms that the fire originated in the engine area, running gear, or wheel area, but the heat source, i.e. what was first ignited, the type of material first ignited, and what contributed to the ignition, are all listed as undetermined. So basically they're saying that the fire started in the engine bay or that general area, and they have no idea what caught on fire originally and what exactly caused the fire, which obviously none of us truly know what caused it or started it, and clearly these investigators don't either. A section in this report labeled "Human Factors Contributing to the Ignition," a tick box labeled "None was checked." So this right here is probably the most important part of this whole video, and we'll come back to this right after we get through the rest of this article, so stick around. In the last few paragraphs of the article, it says that the investigation status is shown as closed on the incident report, but Mr. Stancypants himself apparently texted Road and Track saying that he has not yet been able to get information from the police or fire department due to the ongoing case. So I guess the incident report says closed, but these officials are telling Stancypants that the case is still ongoing. Clearly that makes no sense at all, but what can you do? Now, this is where it gets pretty interesting. So apparently Luke, aka Stancypants, said to Road and Track this in a text message. He said, "There were a few sightings from neighbors, but no great camera angles. We couldn't get a clear image of any possible suspects." Now, I know that this is a whole lot to unpack, but don't worry, we're going to dive into all of this. First off, I want to start with Luke talking about the cameras. In my opinion, I think we all were really waiting for this camera footage that Luke claimed he had, and I think it's pretty disappointing to find out that there won't be any now, but the question is why? I get he's saying there weren't any good angles, but to me it seems like either there was no camera footage at all, or the camera footage that he does have just shows the car randomly catching on fire like most of us suspect. Seems super sketchy to me, but let me know what you guys think. So another important thing here is how the investigator said that the fire originated in the engine bay or nearby. Yeah, dude, of course it did. We can all clearly see that, but how did it start? This is what most of us want to know. According to this investigator who literally gets paid to do this, he has absolutely no idea how it started or what caused it. So I guess it'll just be pure speculation on why the car caught on fire. And arguably the most important part of this whole article is the section in the report labeled human factors contributing to ignition. Tick box labeled none was checked. I was honestly at a loss for words when I saw that. Basically what they're saying is that a human was not involved with the car catching on fire, but they're deeming the fire as intentional. What in the world is going on? How is the fire intentional, but nobody is involved with it catching on fire? This whole report is super conflicting, and in my opinion, it kind of gives us a little bit of information about what's going on, but at the same time, it also gives us absolutely nothing in terms of an update other than the couple of things that Luke said to roadandtrack.com. But anyways, if you've been waiting on an update, this is, I guess, a massive one, but also a very confusing one. I guess nobody knows how or why the fire started, but they know that nobody was involved and that it was intentional. What does that mean? We still seemingly don't have any hard evidence on what happened, no update from Luke, and no camera footage that he claimed he had. So until we get some sort of update from him, this whole situation will remain a complete mystery, I guess. So you guys left a ton of comments on the last video giving me your opinions and viewpoints. I just wanted to add a couple of things that were left out of my last video. A lot of you were saying that this was insurance fraud and saying that he purposely set the car on fire to get paid out by insurance. If you look at this screenshot from Luke himself the night of the incident, you can see that he said the car had no insurance, so no, it was not insurance fraud. Also, a lot of you were saying that Luke's friends made a GoFundMe shortly after he posted on Instagram, and that quickly grew to over $30,000, but the GoFundMe was deleted very shortly after. I have no idea if this is true at all, so take that with a grain of salt. There were a ton more comments, well over 2,000 of them, that I would love to address, but I just simply don't have the time. However, I still stand by what I said in the last video. I think the car caught fire due to something with the electrical work. You guys let me know in the comments that he had wired the starter, I guess, directly to the interior of the car because he couldn't get it to start when he did a manual swap.
We had to wire direct power to the starter, which is what this big button is. This is how I start my car.
So that's the starter.
That's the starter. So that's direct power to starter.
That to me is super sketchy, and I honestly think that may have been what caused it. At the end of the day, I still think that the whole situation is unfortunate for Luke. Whether or not it caught on fire because of his poor craftsmanship or whatever it may be, it still sucks that the dude lost his car. I think a lot of us wish he would just come out and talk about what's going on. Maybe he can't due to the investigation that's going on or not going on. I'm not really sure, but we don't really know, so we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this whole update. Do you still stand by your original opinion on what happened, or do you think it may have been something else due to all this new information? I appreciate all of you that have made it this far into the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.